United 2, Newcastle 3. Well, we definitely didn't deserve anything from that game, did we? We were woeful from start to finish. We so lacklustre, and it's not just the Newcastle game that's been like that, but it's been like that now for the past 4 or 5 games. Um, Newcastle, I mean, 2-0 up after 20 minutes. One could argue that the game was won by two goalie decisions, or bad goalie decisions. Roberto went flapping for their second goal, shouldn't have gone out for it at all. And then he was completely out of position for their third goal, the Shelby free kick. But having said that, you can't just blame the goalie for the result. We were awful. We were absolutely terrible from start to finish. Our defence, I don't know why Zabaleta started this game if Fredericks was fit. There was talk about Fredericks being ill, which is why he may have missed the Sheffield game. But apparently he was fit for this game. So it's not. We don't really understand why he didn't start to play, because Zabaleta got skinned at every opportunity by the Newcastle players. Balbuena, even though he scored the goal, the one player that we have, one central defender that we have that can definitely clear the ball out of our own half is Ogbonna. So one wonders why he's been dropped, because Balbuena hasn't shown me anything that looks better than Ogbonna. Midfield, Declan Rice and Mark Noble were both absolutely appalling. The number of times that each player gave the ball away throughout the whole game. So it was no surprise that one of them got taken off. And it was no surprise that it was going to be Noble that got taken off. Mind you, Lanzini came on and did absolutely nothing, really, to be quite honest. He's certainly not the Lanzini that we've known and loved in the past. Yet he came on to create a 4-4-2 for Yarmolenko, but yet he hardly touched the ball either. So he's been given now a full half, and he's really not shown anything at all to suggest that he's a Premier League centre forward. Anderson, what the hell has happened to him? He saved his speed for the last 2-3 minutes of the game, because he hardly took on a player throughout the whole game. He hardly did anything that was of worth. He got rightly a fan of Anderson, but let's be really honest, he did nothing at all. And I don't really know where the team goes from here. The only player that seemed to put any effort in was Snodgrass, and I'm not even a Snodgrass fan, and yet he was probably our best player. We lack invention, we lack pace, we lack ideas. And like I said at the beginning, it's easy to suggest that it was Roberto's fault, for the two mishaps in goal. But the whole team, and even when we went 3-2, with 4 or 5 minutes to go, we still didn't think that we were going to seriously get back in it. This is Newcastle we're talking about. We made them look decent. They wanted it more. They were after it more. They were more inventive than us. When they went on the break, they really went at us on the break, speed, pace, and we had none of that. We get into their half and we pass it sideways, we're trying to pass the ball into the net. We've got we've been saying for a number of seasons that we need a box-to-box midfielder. The last player we had that was anything like that was COYI, and we haven't replaced him, and we're suffering for it. And, Anderson is a box-to-box midfielder. Anderson's got pace, so if he's not doing it out wide, get him in the middle. Get him to play behind Allaire. And we're all going on about Allaire not doing anything. Allaire, don't forget, for Frankfurt, played behind a number 9. He's not a number 9. And so he's not getting the service he needs. Yet he's not the player to be playing up front with him. We were terrible. Yes, Hammer Down Under. We were fucking awful. We were absolutely appalling, Pellegrini needs to take a good hard look at his team selection. He needs to take a good hard look at our tactics, because we look absolutely clueless at the moment. And and we need to have a massive change around. I don't know what the answer is, to be honest. Maybe on reflection, when we do another show, either later on or tomorrow, etc., I might start thinking a bit more clearly. But at this present moment in time, we look like we're playing. We look like we've had no confidence. We're playing like a relegation team at the moment, and it's quite scary. And it's quite embarrassing, really. We played at home against Newcastle, and Newcastle beat us. And let's be honest, despite the two Roberto errors, he actually ironically kept us in the game after that second goal. He made a string of saves that kept us in it, and gave us just that faint bit of hope. And I'm just lost for words. Lanzini's not playing to the level that we know he can play at. Anderson's not playing to the level that we know. Yarmolenko, Alaire's not getting the service. Our midfield is really poor, and our defence is at the moment no better. 3-5-2, Amma down under, possibly, but I don't know, to be honest with you, if that really is the answer. I think we've got enough quality in the final third of the pitch to do a lot better than we have been doing. So I don't know, Pablo. I don't know if dropping Rice is the right answer. I think dropping Noble is the right answer, and we need to think about who plays alongside him. But between Noble and Rice was still the better player, but Rice had a really shit game. So we need to think about where we're going from here, and we need to think about what we're going to do against Burnley, because I tell you something, Burnley's going to be another physical team that's going to really, really sort of give us nothing. Anderson was awful, Tom. He was terrible. And you're right, Hammer, down under, we could have been 4-5-0 down by half time easily, and we need to have a complete rethink. I think we need to stop playing the players with no pace. Fredericks, when he came on, at least looked half decent, but it was too late by then. Fredericks should have been playing right from the off, and to give us a bit of pace. There was suggestion from a few people around me that maybe we should play Masuaku in front of Creswell and drop Anderson. I wouldn't drop Anderson, despite how terrible he's been. I would actually put him in the middle of the park. I'll never forget the first game of the last season against Arsenal when he played, even though we lost. And Anderson looked quite dangerous in the middle of the park, and I would utilise him, to play around Allaire, and maybe we might see a completely different Anderson. But anyway, we need a rethink. We need Pellegrini needs to take a good hard look at himself. There was talk at the stadium. Will Pellegrini be here by Christmas? I think he will. The board aren't known for sort of letting their managers go midway through the season. Did it for before, but I don't think they'll do it again. I think he'll get us to the end of the season, and then Pellegrini will go at the end of the season. Agreed, Aslan. Manager is responsible. I think his team selection, his tactics have been wrong for the past few weeks, and he needs to have a big change. Anyway, we're going to do another review later on, a bit more sort of thought through review. Thanks for listening. We have been on for a while, and there's quite a number of you watching, so we thank you for watching. And yes, Tim, we're not blessed with a strong squad, and that's the irony, isn't it? That we're not. We bought all these players for nows, etc., and yet we can't even rely on them. And we're putting players like Zabaleta back in the team. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming Zabaleta, but he's just not really. It's a season too many for him. It's all wrong. It's all wrong at the moment, and we need to have a team with more pace. We need to have a team with much more direct penetration, because all this wishy-washy playing around, playing it out wide. I don't know why we play it out wide, because we don't have the players in the box that can actually head the ball in, so there's no point doing it. So we might as well try and go straight through the middle. But we need to be stronger. We need to be more direct. All right, thanks for watching. Leave your comments, and I'd say come on your irons, but it seems pointless.